In an investor call late last week, Textron officials announced that some workers were returning to the aircraft plants in Wichita. I spoke with Textron Aviation's Senior Vice President Rob Scholl for all the details this week.
We are actually having production right now. As you mentioned, we did have the announcement of 4 weeks of furlough, and we have extended that to 8 weeks on some of the lines. Really, the first priority is the safety of our employees. Here in Wichita, the peak of the COVID uh, issues was forecasted to happen in late April. And so obviously with that timing, we made the decision to do the furloughs, protection of our employees. And also with as much uncertainty as it is in the marketplace, that gives us the option to, work on production levels in a way that we think will adjust for market demand going forward. So there are employees back to work. As I look out my window here over at our factory, we have employees back building airplanes and components. And during that whole time, we've had a lot of the team here doing a lot of work getting airplanes delivered to customers. We do still have deliveries ongoing, so hasn't been totally quiet, but it's nice to see the people in the factory starting to get back to work, and we'll continue to monitor the furloughs as we go forward.
While things are slow on the production lines, work on the new Sky Courier turboprop twin and the single-engine Denali turboprop continue.
The team right now on the Sky Courier is working really hard. They did take a little bit of furlough time during the first 4 weeks just to make sure from a protection standpoint we were protecting our employees, but they are back to work and the team is making rapid progress there. And I'm hoping to have some pretty exciting news on the Sky Courier. So really the Sky Courier program is full speed ahead. On the Denali program, we're still kind of where we have been in our recent comments on that. We're working with GE to understand the timing on the Catalyst engine. The Catalyst engine is, from a performance standpoint, is doing fantastic in the test cells. What we're waiting on is the first engines that we can get on the airplane and get that airplane in the air.
Scholl said that the flight school business is keeping 172 production running.
So far, the piston market is holding up, as far as I can tell. We do have on the 172s, obviously, primarily a trainer aircraft, and we assume that there might be an impact to the market when this happened. As we've gone back and talked to those customers, they've all communicated that they still plan to take these airplanes. I think there's still going to be demand for pilots going forward, and the flying schools, at least this point in time, aren't slowing down. So the 172 market seems to be holding strong. On the rest of the pistons, we've seen good demand on the 182, the 206, and the Baron and Bonanza as well. So I'm optimistic by what I see in the piston market.
Scholl says few used business airplanes for sale is a good sign for possible new sales.
The pre-owned market is very encouraging. They have been at historical lows as far as aircraft available for sale on both the Citation and the King Air side, especially when you consider aircraft that are 10 years or younger. The numbers are very low. And I think as you look at the numbers now, we haven't seen a drastic uptick in aircraft available for sale in the last several weeks. And a couple of reports that I've read recently also indicate that on the light jet side, there's actually been a slight uptick in pricing on the used market. So I think as you look at that, the dynamics on the used aircraft side are a good indicator for the market.
So, Alyssa, the optimism that we heard Rob talking about is actually reflected across a couple of manufacturers. We talked to Simon Caldicott at Piper last week, and he was pretty optimistic. Also, an analyst, Brian Foley, this week came out and talked about the business aircraft market and said that it's very tight. People are hanging on to their business jet market, even in this uncertain times. They are not selling their business jets. And so that's a good sign for aircraft manufacturers in that when people start buying airplanes again, they're going to have to look to new ones because not that many used ones available.
Yeah, and at this time it's always good to have a little bit of good news. So that's great.
That's right. We can use it.
Yes.